What's up, guys? Today, getting some boat work done, some maintenance on the Bass Cat at In-Tune Marine, hanging out in their showroom while my boat gets finished up. And I thought I would take a look at a boat while I was here and look at a few things. So I'm going to show you a boat that just got in that I think is pretty cool, and I want to give my initial thoughts and review on it. So let's check it out. So In-Tune has quite a few boats, some new boats, some used boats in inventory, but the one that kind of caught my eye because it's kind of the size that I'm interested is this Caymas CX 19. They just got this in. It's pretty new, brand new boat line from Caymas. So this is the CX 19 Caymas by Earl Bentz. First glance at this boat, it's got everything you need and not a lot of stuff you don't. It's a very clean, elegant looking boat. I wouldn't say simple, but it's a nice clean boat. Let's walk through some of the trailer features, the outside of the boat, and then we'll jump inside and do a deep dive look and look at every part of this boat. So the CX 19 is a 19-foot, 9-inch boat with a 96-inch beam. Max horsepower is a 225. This one, the 225 Pro XS Mercury. My understanding, tournament loaded. This is a low to mid 70-mile-an-hour boat. So you got a tandem axle trailer with Dexter Volt hubs, which is great. Even on a 19-foot boat, that dual axle is really nice. Custom Caymas trailer, as you can see, decked out. Swing away tongues. It's got the extra step. Jack, swing away tongues, all the standard stuff you see on a trailer that you would expect. It's my understanding that keel guards like this are installed standard in these boats, which is nice that you don't have to add that and it just comes on the boat. The outside of the boat, very clean looking. You've got the built-in LED lights for navigation. You've got the retractable cleats. You got the fuel tank, which the fuel tank is a little more forward on this boat than other designs. My understanding is that the fuel tank is actually up in the middle of this boat, which is supposed to help with performance and ride and things like that. So I've not driven this boat. I would like to get out in this boat, but I haven't ridden this boat, but that's what I've heard is the purpose behind it. Step plates on the trailer, which is a nice feature. Pretty standard day. You've got the safety boarding ladders that pull out here on the back of the boat, which is a nice feature if you ever need to get in a that you've gotten out of. Obviously tie downs, things like that. Jack plate on this boat. I'm sure this is a standard jack plate, but I'm sure you can get a hydraulic if you wanted to. Well, that's the outside of the boat. Now let's jump inside and look at the fishing platform and everything that's inside the boat. Let's start in the back of this boat and work our way forward. All right, they got this nice accessory tray for the boats. This one's got an onboard charger, a starting battery, a power breaker, which is nice. They have these built-in hatches for bilge pump, live well pumps and aerators, so they isolate them, make them easier to work on. Very clean back of the boat bilge area, easy to work on. Overall, fairly impressed with the back end of the boat. Those hatches seem like a nice feature, make it easy to work on a boat, maybe do something when you're out in the water and you need to fix something. Easy access, you know right where they are, which is nice. Back of this boat, it's got a pretty nice fishing platform here. Plenty of room for a co-angler or anybody fishing on the back deck, or a spouse or a friend or a kid sitting on the back deck. Plenty of room. I could probably lay down on the back of this deck. All right, just to show you, I'm over 6 feet tall and I fit easily. So like I could lay out, hang out, put a beach towel out and take a nap on the back of the boat if I needed to. It's got 2 large storage compartments in the back. The latches are pretty standard on these boats. Striker plates in all the compartments. All the lids are reinforced, shocks. No carpet in any of the compartments. It's got drains, it's got padding in the bottom. You could put a ton of stuff, whether it be tackle, 3700s, rain gear, boat snacks, whatever you want. There's tons of storage in these back compartments. Plenty of room for Power Pull or Raptor pumps, either in the back or in these compartments. Similar compartment on the back, and you can see this one's got Helix boxes and stuff that come with the boat and the kits and things like that. But as you can see, it gives you a reference for size for a Helix 9 or 10 and the size of that compartment. If you're a tournament angler, you definitely want to see what the live wells look like. So pretty sizable live wells. This one is a divided live well, all one. They have an option where they have isolated or divided live wells. Plenty big. Nice latching system for that. They have an optional high-speed pickup system for live wells that you can add onto your boat that basically tops the live wells off when you're going down the lake. So that's a feature you can add if you're running big water, making big runs, concerned about whether your fish are getting fresh water, if the water stays in the live well. That's a nice option to consider. Dry box between the seats. This is where you keep all your snacks, your hat, your wallet, your sunglasses. It's waterproof, anything like that. Anything you need to get to easily, keep safe with a nice lock and watertight area. The Caymas has custom seats that are designed themselves. Supposedly there's a spring system built into these seats. They seem pretty comfy. The cockpit area has so much leg room. I'm 6'2", and I can barely touch the back. So if you're a taller person, have trouble mounting a hot foot or having legroom under the console, these Caymas, even in this 19-foot, seems like it has a ton of legroom. At the dash, you got the custom digital gauge, which keeps it kind of clean. You can use these buttons to toggle through all the features you need to see on your dash. You've got this little box here, which allows you just a little dry storage with a USB. If you're a person like me that creates content, GoPro, plug it in, charge your phone. You can charge your phone, leave it in this box, and they'd be good to go. So that's a nice little feature there. Comes standard with Pro Trim on the steering, so you don't take your hands off the wheel when you're driving. Also has tilt steering on the wheel, so you can adjust the height of the steering wheel. And then all your gauges and panels and accessories and pump outs and live wells, all that is run right here. All pretty standard and clean in this area as well. Plenty of room to mount an in-dash system. Probably options to do a dual mount as well here. I think you can mount up to a 12-inch screen flush in the dash. Passenger side, you've got another custom seat. You've got a place to lay your rods, a place to put them in, a rod strap, which is a nice feature. You've got, all this is right here is padded. So, you know, when people put their feet up here, they put stuff here, it's not going to scratch the fiberglass. Anywhere where you would set something or put your feet is protected by padding, which is nice. In my boat now, I've got exposed fiberglass here, and it gets a ton of scratch from the bottom of people's shoes and things like that. CX-19 available in a single console or a dual console, and my understanding is the dual console is removable in about a 5-minute process. That is an option if you need a dual console bass boat. Moving on, never want to be out on a hot day, not be able to have cold drinks and things like that. Big ice chest here. Plenty of room for a bunch of sandwiches, drinks, ice, and things like that, which is always nice to have. Insulated to keep things cold. The top of the cooler and the step is covered by the surf turf, and the bottom of the floor also has the surf turf, which is really nice in my opinion. Why would you want carpet in the back of the boat where it's just going to get wet, collect sand, worms, garbage, everything comes off. All the decks lands in the bottom, so this is much easier to blow out, rinse out into the drains and things like that in the bottom of the boat. So that's a nice feature to have the surf turf come standard built into the floor of your boat. Lots of tool holders all over the boat, different places, as well as the measuring board. Let's jump onto the front deck and check out the front storage and the fishing platform. All right, pretty giant center storage in this boat. Open it up, you can see they got their boat cover in here. Big giant reinforced lids, locking, the striker plate that we talked about. Plenty of room for 3700s right down the center where the boat cover sitting, and then you've got these rails on the side for smaller things and things like that. You've got some cup holders if you want to keep drinks in there, or maybe your scents or other things like that, and then kind of a little segregated storage. Some lighted LED lights, which are a nice feature if you're rigging up early morning or late at night. Port side rod locker, which is most people's main rod locker. Pretty sizable. Just got the rear dividers in the back to kind of hold the butts of your rods. No dividers up front, so you can put as many rods in here. If you put your rods in rod gloves or sleeves, you should be able to put a ton of rods in here. Now, this seems a little bit shallower than my boat. I think you could still get quite a few rods in here, but it doesn't seem overly deep in the 19-foot model. Something to take into consideration on this boat, but hey, I think you could probably get 20, 30 rods in here pretty easy in just this one side. Starboard side rod locker, pretty similar size. Again, no carpet, but you do have the padding in here. You can use this for storage. You can use this for more rods, navigation lights. Lots of opportunities to use this however you see fit. Walking up on the front of the boat, first thing that jumps out at me, a much bigger platform than my old 2005 Pantera Basscat Classic. A lot more room up here where the trolling motor is, a lot more width, more room on the sides for my rods when I'm sitting up here. This one's got an Ultrex. It's got a 9 or a 10-inch helix mounted in. I think you could probably put up to a 10-inch graph flush mounted in this. Recessed foot pedal. Again, more tool holders and cup holders up front. A big giant fishing platform, which is nice. 2 positions, a front and a rear for this pedestal, so you can adjust it to what you need. I know a lot of you guys don't use the butt seat, but it is nice to have that option if you like that. And then when you're done fishing, whether it's and you're back in the garage or you're off the boat, pulling into the access, you can use the handle and the trailer, the steps to walk down, easily getting out of the boat without jumping, which is a nice feature on a lot of newer boats, including the Caymas CX-19. That's the CX-19 by Caymas and Earl Bentz. Let me know what you guys think of this boat. This is a boat that I'm thinking about. Could actually be my next boat. We'll see. I'm definitely interested in this size boat, this type of model. It definitely is an interesting floor pan. It's got a lot of good things going for it. I'm definitely interested in taking a test drive. I would love to know in the comments if there's something that I didn't answer, or you have more questions, or if you've ridden in a Caymas. I'd love to hear what you think of this boat. And just overall, what did you think of what you saw of the CX-19 today? Probably gonna do more boat reviews in the future as I continue to look for boats. If you're interested in boat reviews, breakdowns, and things like that, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification. and be sure not to mix the next one.